You know what I just realized? I just realized my mic was muted. Whoops. Sorry, people. Okay. How we looking? How we looking? We good? Thumbs up? Here we go. Yep. Okay, we're good. Music's coming through. Hope you guys are enjoying the stream. Welcome back to another one. Okay. Here's what I was thinking. Let's get... Hold on. Why do I feel off-centered. I don't know. Hold on. Let me move my camera a little bit. Oh, yeah. I'm way off-center. Whoops. Okay, watch this. Watch a little bit of behind-the-scenes magic here. I was leaning. I was like, okay, what the hell? Okay, there we go. Yeah, there we go. There's the usual setup. Okay, and then I'll hit go live here. Now, one thing that I want to say, yes, okay, it worked perfectly. Works perfect. Now, let's double check one thing, though. One thing, yes. Okay, that's muted. Great. Now can we start? Can we start? Mic check. Okay, we can start. All right, here we go. I know this is probably stuff that I should have figured out before we even start the stream, but like we're still dealing with, and I've been making YouTube videos forever. We're still dealing with making sure the mic is actually on before I hit record, because that's something that happened a handful of days ago, where I was making a video for who I think could potentially win the MVP for the NFL, and guess whose mic was not on? Mine. And so I make this 40-minute video where I make, who I think could win the Heisman, who could win the NFL MVP. I did a little bit of a preview on this weekend's matchups, Oh gosh, I did a conference prediction a little bit. Like I made a good 40-minute video. Go look and see the feedback. Guess whose mic wasn't on? Mine. And so that freaking pissed me off. But if you're watching right now, because we got a couple live football games going on right now, I think Louisville. Oh no, there's 7 minutes left in that. Okay, so that field goal must have happened sometime in the third quarter or something. Because right now Louisville's beating Clemson, as we can see, 19-13. And then Oregon right now is kind of putting belt to ass against the Gophers, 21-6. If you guys have been watching that, Whittington's had a good day. I mean, he almost fumbled the ball. Almost fumbled the ball in the end zone, but he's had a couple big runs. I would say the run game right now primarily is the biggest key component to why Oregon's winning this game right now. But yeah, Whittington, in fact, let's double check right now. Let's go look at the box score. I don't know how many yards he personally has. 57. Okay. All right. So 57 and that big, that 40-yarder. Okay. And then Davison also has 2 touchdowns so far. So we haven't seen anything from Dante Moore's arm. Like, we knew some of the injuries coming into this game, but, I mean, you know what? If one thing's working, if it ain't broke, why fix it? And so you can be wondering, okay, where's the passing game for Oregon? Right now they're up 21-0. The run game's working just fine. So why would you change it? That's just me talking out loud. I might seem a little crazy for thinking and feeling that way. So, all right, let's continue here. So anyway, back to the main objective. I thank you guys for being here again. If you guys are enjoying the videos, be sure to hit that like button or sub, because it goes a long way and it lets me know that you continue to want to see some of these videos. I think, okay, good. Making sure these, because you know how sometimes it plays ads. I can't double check if the ads are playing, so it's like, let's just double check, make sure they're muted. So all you can hear is me. But I thought, just because it's Friday night, hope you guys are having a, awesome Friday. I thought I'd give a little bit of a preview and kind of my own personal predictions for what I think could happen um, with tomorrow's football games. And I think the other thing too is we have 3 or 4 more weeks left in the regular season, and so it's getting to be crunch time. And so I thought now more than ever would be a good time to do a little bit of a preview and make some predictions, which I've wanted to do this for a while. So getting to do it now, totally awesome. But some of the bigger matchups that we can see, we have Alabama versus Oklahoma. We have Texas versus Georgia. We have the Notre Dame versus Pittsburgh game that's going to go on. We have Navy versus South Florida. If you're a football sicko and want to watch that, because Navy had everything in front of them to try to take the American, but now I think they're still sitting in first place. But if South Florida can win this road game tomorrow, we know who takes it. Who else? Iowa, USC, Baylor, Utah. And TCU, BYU. So we have a couple big games tomorrow, and so I thought I'd just kind of give a quick kind of prediction. I didn't expect and didn't want this stream to be like a 30-minute stream. I wanted this to be a quick stream, which, by the way, is this even going? Okay, we're on. Just had to make sure. It's like, hello, are we live? Because sometimes there have been times where I've started a stream, but because I did not double check, stream never went through. And so, yeah, ask me how frustrating that is. Anyways, so let's just jump into it. Let's start now first with, this one's sitting in the fourth quarter now, Clemson versus Louisville. Honestly speaking, like right now it's 19-19. I thought, you throw away the records. I thought this would have been a close game either way, just because it's Clemson, and Clemson still has, as a 5-loss team, they still have a lot to prove. They really do. And so you try to go get a huge solid road win against a top 25 team in Louisville, who right now there's a lot of people who have already made predictions that I have seen where Louisville could potentially be competing for an ACC championship game, and if they win that, they get in the college playoff, and it's like, okay, let's slow down a little bit. But what else could be said? I think the other thing is it's Friday night, and usually, and this is kind of, I felt the same way about this Minnesota-Oregon game too, because Virginia and Florida State played, Louisville played Miami. Like, we have seen magic happen on Fridays where it doesn't matter the record, it doesn't matter what you ranked, that an upset could happen. And that, it was a trap game. So I thought, okay, if we have Minnesota, because again, we've seen it where the home team's supposed to win. Oregon has been in this position before. They have lost some home games that they should have won in the past to inferior opponents, and even this season to Indiana. So I didn't write this off as an easy win for Oregon, but how it's 21-6, it's like this seems like it could be in the back. Because right now, ball's sitting on the 15. We're on the left hash. 2nd and 7. Oh, look at that quick strike right there. Is he down? Is he down? Is he down? I guess they never blew the whistle. So look at me. The second I'm telling, okay, 46 seconds left. Sadiq, I think they called him down. So Sadiq's had 2 back-to-back phenomenal plays in this drive alone. But the second I'm talking and saying, they haven't used the passing game. You don't need to use the passing game. You're running it. Sadiq over the middle for a touchdown. Pending the call here from the ref, because we've had a couple. Nope, they're going to calm down. It's going to be 1st and goal. So, if I was Coach Lanning, are they going to review it again? See what Lanning's doing. Maybe they're going to look at it. Even if he's short, if I was Lanning, I'd be like, okay, let's do this one more time. Let's run it back up the middle. Reward your players for their effort, and you reward 1-2. There comes the contact. Is there an elbow down? Well, you tell me. Does your face mask, does the face mask imply a part of being down? Because there's not a knee, there's not an elbow, there's not a forearm, nothing is down. The only thing that is down is his face mask in the grass. So when you look at it like that, I think that would be a touchdown. So we're looking at 28-6. Either way, but this had the makings. This game did have the makings of if Oregon doesn't come out and they let Minnesota hang around a little bit, upset. That's all I was going to say, and try to, try to speak into existence. The other thing, okay, now let's continue to scroll down. Okay, Wisconsin versus Indiana. I'm not going to be crazy here and be like, okay, Wisconsin's going to get a huge upset road win. Okay, West Virginia did that to Houston, but that's Houston. And Houston, like Georgia Tech, like Cincinnati, like BYU, Houston's been under the radar all season. Indiana's been in prime time, and they've been in the spotlight all season. And so I think Wisconsin could keep it close? I think they could keep it a little bit closer than Illinois, UCLA. Who did Indiana play a couple weeks ago that they totally beat up? Maryland. That's that other. So I think they could keep it a little closer than that, but to win, no, it's a stretch. Even though they're coming off of the huge momentum win and moral victory over Washington the other week, which in fact, let me fix something here for you guys too. Let me fix something. Look at that. There we go. So you guys can see what I see. All right. South Carolina versus Texas A&M. I'm surprised South Carolina's only won 3 games. Well, actually, maybe I'm not. There's a lot of Heisman talk around South Carolina. There's Heisman talk, there's playoff talk, because I could win. Ooh, yeah, they're. Oh, yikes! So they've only won 1 out of their last 6. Okay. Oh, that's road game. Okay. That, you know what? That's probably why I never made a video. Now that I see, that's probably why I never made a video on them, because that is a tough schedule. That was a tough schedule, and I can't lie and say, oh, that they can win 9 games. Okay, out of Notre Dame and Pittsburgh, I think this has the makings of probably a classic, hopefully a classic. We've seen how Carr's been performing lately. We've seen the tandem in the backfield for the Irish. I think with it being a road game, that's where I'm a little worried. And I was kind of felt this way when Notre Dame played Arkansas, because you never know. Like, Arkansas could have a sneaky game plan where it's like, oh, okay, they lost. We ended up seeing what the Razorback versus Irish score was at the end of that game. And didn't Jeremiah have like 4 touchdowns in that game or something? Like, they just popped off, and at one point they were up by like 40 or something in that game. So I don't think this Pitt game is going to be the same. Like, I do think Pittsburgh can, touchdown, right back to the tight end. Okay. Yep, you reward him. There we go. Kenyon Sadiq. Okay, so Oregon's going to extend the lead to 27, pending the PAT. Three possession. 3 possession game. Man. Come on, Minnesota. Where's your fight? Personally, I don't know why I thought this game would be a little closer. It just had the makings of it, but Oregon's been tearing some teams up lately. I think the other thing too is, don't be surprised either, and I'm just going to throw this out for fun. Don't be surprised if Oregon and Indiana meet again in the Big Ten championship game. Because I think Indiana's going to win out. Like, they play Wisconsin and they play Purdue. So they're probably going to finish 9-0 in Big Ten and then 12-0 overall. Now, I think Ohio State, I'm going to be honest. I know they've lost 4 in a row. If this was in the shoe, if the game was in the shoe, then I would probably have the same feelings I did last year, where it's like, oh yeah, Ohio State's winning this game. This isn't even going to be close. This is at the Big House, and Michigan this year is a lot better than they were last year. And so even though Julian Saint's been tearing it up this year, and he's had a couple handful road wins, crucial road wins that are solid, there's something that's just a little bit different because it's Michigan, where I'm nervous to be like, okay, yeah, they're going to win. They're going to walk right in and they're going to win. Well, what's the word I'm trying? How do I word this eloquently? They've supposed to win. I'm trying to say that, but a little bit. They've had to. No, they were supposed to win the last 4 straight, but we have seen what happened, and especially last season, where wasn't Michigan a 5-win team at that point or a 6-win team, and then that win helped them be bowl eligible or something like that. So yeah, with it being in the Big House, will it be a classic? Absolutely. But like, I'm a little nervous to be like, oh, okay, Ohio State's got it, because the last 2 times they've met in the Big House, been absolute classics. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, don't be surprised if Ohio State loses to Michigan. They drop down to the 3 seed, because then Oregon would leapfrog them just record-wise, because they'd be tied. Oregon and Ohio State would have the same record in Big Ten and overall, but pending, with the timing of the loss, that's what drops them down. And then Indiana and Oregon have a rematch, which that'd be fun too. But all that to be said, because that was a long-winded response, and I've probably lost you guys in the chat. Sorry about that. But when Notre Dame plays Pittsburgh, I think if Pittsburgh wins this game, I think it improves their chances of getting closer to the ACC title game. Because I believe right now, let's look at who some of the ACC leaders are. Yes, we have Georgia Tech, Virginia, and Pittsburgh. And right now, they're sitting, we have a 4-way tie. But then one of our teams is a 3-loss team, and it's SMU. And then you look over, the second okay. You guys can't see it. My bad. Here, let me fix something here real quick so you guys can see it. Sorry about that. Okay, you can see the standings over here. Okay, but SMU is a 3-loss team, and I don't think a 3-loss team is gonna go. No offense, because I think for a 3-loss team, Georgia Tech's gonna have to lose, Virginia's gonna have to lose, and Pittsburgh's gonna have to lose. Some teams are gonna have to move, and I don't think that's gonna happen. I mean, I think if Georgia Tech's gonna lose again, it's gonna be to Georgia, and it's gonna be that Georgia game. But what could really help Pitt's reason and to help their resume, that's the word I'm looking for, let's get this team, this team deserves to play in the ACC championship, potentially fight for a spot in the college playoff. It starts right here by beating Notre Dame. Because when I look at Pitt's schedule, their only solid win that they have is the Florida State win, when they went on the road to Tallahassee and they beat the Seminoles. But this also was Florida State. If I am to critique it, Florida State had the ball, multiple chances there in the 4th quarter to win the game. That's my one critique. And also, this was in the middle of Florida State's skid. That's a silly word to use, skid, but this was when Florida State lost, I believe, 3 in a row. And this was their 3rd loss in a row. So they were on the outside looking in on, okay, you lose or you win this one close. You're not going to be 25 anymore. Because we know all season, we've seen it. Teams 21 through 25, it's been liquid. Like, people have moved up, people have moved down. So, but what a better chance for the Panthers to, they beat Notre Dame, because the Irish are number 9 right now in the country. They beat Notre Dame, they get ranked, and then they would move up and improve, because I think they would leapfrog Virginia, because Virginia's sitting there at 8-2, and so I think Pitt, fresh off a win at 8-2 as well, it would move it up, even though they're both still 5-1 in conference play. Let's see if Virginia, let's see who Virginia has coming up, because I don't know. Duke, they play Duke at Duke, so I don't, yeah, because there was they called it the doomsday scenario where Duke goes to the college football playoff, and it's like, okay, give me a break. They're not gonna let a 4-loss. They're not gonna let a 4-loss team into the college playoff. They're not. Because at that point, because they were talking, would you let a American team go? Would you let a MAC team go? Would you let a Mountain West team? Yes. That's why the rule is in play. Because if by the end of it, when we're sitting here and, Georgia Tech's lost a couple, didn't win the ACC championship, and everybody has 3 or 4 losses, and the team that comes out on top of the ACC is Duke at, an 8-4, 9-4 record. This is exactly why they made the rule. So it's like, okay, you are not going. We're not having 12th ranked Duke go play 5th ranked, Notre Dame or Ohio State and get absolutely whacked. We're not having that. So, enough of my soapbox. I will get off my soapbox. Thanks for coming and hanging out. Be sure to hit the like button on your way out and tip your waitress. Okay. Let's do... Okay, long-winded response to rant a little bit about Notre Dame and Pittsburgh. I was thinking this stream would be 20 minutes, and now we're sitting here at almost 30 minutes. Let's keep it rolling, people. I thank you guys for being here. Hope you are having a fun Friday. Okay, Michigan against Northwestern. Northwestern was playing decent at the beginning of the season. And, yeah, they got blown out by Oregon way earlier in the season, and they played it close against Nebraska. If Michigan drops this one, it just makes that Ohio State game that much bigger, because a 3-loss Michigan team is not going to be ranked when they end up playing Ohio State. I'll say that much. Okay, let's scroll down. And again, American, it's right there for the taking with this South Florida game. Because right now, Navy and South Florida are sitting at the top. So this could potentially, too, Navy and South Florida, this could potentially be a preview for when these two teams meet up again. When is... Oh my goodness. When are conference... Because... Oh my gosh. Because look at this. They play South Florida, Memphis, and then Army. Isn't... Oh gosh. They'd have to play... There'd be that secret 4th game right here. Because in the middle, isn't that when conference games are... Let me double check. And this SEC title game. 2025. December. So then... Big Ten. Okay. No. Football. December 6th. Okay. So then American Conference. Friday, December 5th. So, yeah, funny enough, after the Memphis game, South Florida could mess around and find themselves replaying Notre Dame, and then Notre Dame would have to have game, secret game right here, and then another game. Oh boy. All right, Arizona versus Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati will probably win this game. Um, well, well, Minnesota's also 6-3, and we're seeing what's happening to them right now against Oregon. But Oregon is not Cincinnati. I don't know. Okay, Oklahoma, Oklahoma and Alabama. I think Ty. Okay, so let me put a little scenario here. Let me put let me put a little bit of seasoning on this gourmet meal here. So in the preseason, there was a lot of talk around DJ Lagway, Lenore Sellers, John Mateer, Cade Klubnik, and Nussmeier winning the Heisman. We fast forward and we see who the front runners are now. Dante Moore's in the mix, but not too much because it's between Mendoza and Julian Saint. I'm thinking if Oklahoma right now is sitting at 7-2, Mateer would have to throw for like 5 touchdowns. Let's get that out of the way right now too. Like Mateer would have to put on a Johnny Football kind of performance, a Baker Mayfield kind of performance, if he wants to get into Heisman talks after this game. But this in the season preview prediction for Oklahoma when I was making the predictions, I did say Alabama's probably going to win this game. I did have this as a win for Alabama. But at the same time, if this was the game where, okay, John Mateer is going to win the Heisman, this was the one that Oklahoma needed to win. Because, you look at their schedule and stuff in the preseason of what it was, is they had Texas. Well, they had Michigan first. They had Michigan, Texas, Tennessee, and Alabama. Okay. Well, and then the last one at the very end of the season. And I just kind of thought personally, okay, if sorry, let me switch the camera back. If Oklahoma and Mateer can win these 4 games, boom, 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 and boom, there's no reason he shouldn't be the Heisman winner. No reason. But like we've seen the hand injury, statistically, with 8 touchdowns compared to how much Mendoza has, you can't compare the stats for stats. You can't. But if you want to make a case, and it's going to start with this game because they're going to get no credit because Missouri was ranked and LSU could have been ranked back after Oklahoma beat South Carolina. Of their remaining games, I believe the only one that wasn't a ranked matchup was going to be the LSU one, because Missouri was still ranked. I think LSU was ranked at 25 on their way out because they then lost Texas A&M that night. But LSU, Missouri, Bama, Tennessee, and Ole Miss, they were all ranked. For the remainder of the season, it was going to be ranked matches all the way out. All this to say, long-winded, sorry. But if you were going to make a case for the Sooners to get to the SEC title game and win it, and even throw Mateer in conversations for a Heisman, this was going to be the game that the Sooners needed to win. The Sooners needed to do exactly what they did a couple weeks ago, where they went on the road to Knoxville and they beat the Volunteers, in their place against Tennessee. Do I see that happening? I don't know. I'm a little there. The Sooner fan in me is like, hell yeah, let's freaking go. There's no way, that Bama's. But this is a huge game. This biggest game. Well, they also beat Auburn too, so they have 1, 2, 3 ranked wins. 3 ranked wins. That makes sense that they're the 11th seed. Gosh, I keep up, but it's like, okay, apparently not enough. Okay, Clemson's winning 20-19. If anybody was curious on that, and it is halftime for the Oregon-Minnesota game. It is 28-6. Anyways, back to it though. I think this is going to be a big game. Here's the thing. This is either going to be a big game or it's going to be kind of how the Bama Georgia game was earlier this year, where Alabama controlled the tempo of the entire game and Oklahoma looks lost. And that's what I'm nervous, because that's what I don't want to see. Because if the Oklahoma that we saw play Ole Miss, well, Oklahoma had a lot of chances against Ole Miss. If this is the Oklahoma game, the Oklahoma team that we see that played Texas, we're in for a long day, because Bama, I mean, Ty Simpson, in turn, as much as I'm talking Heisman and, blowing smoke for Mateer, this also could be very well a Heisman-like game and Heisman moment to put Ty Simpson on the ballot as well, because when you look at like production of what a quarterback has done for their team, kind of don't put stats out there, because Simpson doesn't have as much stats as like Reed and Mendoza and all that, but this could be that game where you have a talk, because it's like you beat Oklahoma, who was, could have been a sneaky team and beaten you at your own place. And two, if Simpson throws for 3 or 4 touchdowns in this game, that's going to look really good, because that's going to propel and help Alabama's chances getting to the SEC title game, where they eventually play whether Georgia or Texas A&M. Just depends. Because each team in each season, like the quarterback who wins it, or the receiver, or the running back, they have their Heisman moment. And if there was to be a Heisman moment, there were a couple in the Georgia game for Simpson. There was a couple in the Missouri game on the road. But this Oklahoma-Alabama game, parts of me feel like this one's bigger than those games, respectfully. Because this Tennessee game, they controlled that whole game. And then same with the Vandy game. So we got to go back a couple weeks to look at this, which is it's so crazy to look back. And yeah, they lost to Florida State, and everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, fire the coach, get him out of here." I'd worry about this one. Auburn is not a safe place all the time. I mean, wasn't 4th and a mile? Wasn't 4th and a mile the last time they played? So yeah, No, hold on. When Bama played, hold on. I can't. So then, if 4th and a mile was in 2023, what was in 2021? Because it's all the times, not 2008. Sorry. Milrow. Yeah, to Bond. That was 4th and a mile. Okay, so and again, Auburn was not ranked 6-6. There it is. 30 seconds to go. So then what happened? Because something happened in 2021 as well. Yes. They went to overtime. So, okay. And again, 6-6. Bama was the 3 team in the country. Whoa, this is a weird view. This is every game. If I wanted to go through every game, I'm not doing that. I've already kept you guys long enough. But yeah, don't overlook that Bama Auburn game. I think it could be a big game. NC State against Miami. Okay, Georgia Tech against Boston. Yeah. I mean, if Castellanos was at Boston College, maybe there could be a little bit of magic, but I mean, he's on FSU right now, and even they're struggling. Iowa get against USC. You know, I can see the Hawkeyes winning this one. I really can, and because I can see I don't see USC getting to the Big Ten championship game. I really don't, and I can see what better way to have a little mix up with Iowa getting an upset, huge win on the road. Duke, Virginia, I already think Virginia. And then a little bit more down here. More big games. Well, you know what? This game has big implications too. Because you know what I realized too? Sawyer Robinson has the most passing yards and the most touchdowns all season. What if Baylor tears up BYU? And then that takes away Utah's chances to get to the Big 12 championship game. And so then it seems inevitable that there's a Texas Tech versus Cincinnati matchup. Or Cincy BYU, Texas Tech BYU. You know what? Baylor. I can see a Baylor upset here. I can see a Baylor upset. Ole Miss beating Florida. I know I skipped over that one. Okay, but to Texas and Georgia, I think, I really think, I mean, this is Georgia's to lose. I mean, these guys played each other last season, and Georgia made Texas look lost. I mean, this was also the fans throwing stuff on the field where if you don't agree with what the ref said, throw shit on the field game. I think we have seen flashes of Arch Manning, and I think a huge test would be to see how he gets out of this game, because we've written off Arch Manning, and we've said he's kind of a bust, and that this season was really underwhelming for him, even though Texas is the 10th ranked team in the country. I think this is going to be a defensive battle, because I think both defenses are very good. It's the offenses that have struggled. But Georgia's offense has been able to pick it up recently. They had a huge win a couple weeks ago, and I think it's a lot to expect still, even though Manning has 9 starts under his belt now. It's a lot to expect him to, because Manning, when you look at his freshman season, you throw the stats away, you throw everything away. He played, I mean, you can't really talk about Oklahoma because it's a neutral site game, but he went to the Shoe, to the Swamp, and then he played in Athens. Those are 3 stadiums that not a lot of college quarterbacks can say, oh yeah, I've played there. But not only have I played there, I played there he's not a freshman anymore, like he's sat the bench for 2 years, but like his first actual starting season, he played in all those places in one season. So, but I mean, their 2 losses are in the Swamp and in the Shoe, so that's neither here nor there. But against Georgia, I really think Georgia's going to make a push to get to the SEC title game. And so that's why I would say it's hard for me to try to convince myself and be like, oh yeah, Texas is going on the road. Texas is going to beat Georgia on the road. Because right now, what Georgia's goal is, and everybody knows this, is Georgia needs to win out, and they need a little bit of help. They need Texas A&M to lose against Texas at the end of the year, or they need A&M to stumble somewhere to help bring them down to push. But then Georgia's got to win out, and they could use help too from Bama losing one as well, because Georgia right now, if I'm not mistaken, let's take a little look here. Georgia's sitting at the 3. Yeah, they're sitting 3rd. They're 6-1 in conference play, and Texas and Bama are over them, both at 6-0. And I don't know. And another reason. Here's another reason why Georgia needs to win this one, because it would improve their record to 9-1. It'd improve their conference record to 7-1, because Georgia plays Charlotte and Georgia Tech, and none of those games are SEC games, so it doesn't help their chances for an SEC game. A&M has South Carolina and Texas. We could see an interesting situation. You know what? Ooh! And then Oklahoma and Auburn. Oh man. Because I just realized if Texas, this is all on Texas A&M's hands. Because you see the conference. If Texas A&M loses one, no wait. If Texas A&M loses one, we're gonna have a 3-way tie for first place. And then who goes at that point? I don't know. Good thing I don't get paid to make those decisions, because I would definitely make the wrong one. And then TCU versus BYU. Let's end this stream the right way. Cougars coming off of the loss last week. This one is, though, at Lavelle Edwards. Last season I thought K-State could go into Provo and win. We saw what happened. I think BYU, every game is important from here on out, but BYU's biggest game is that game that they have coming up in a couple weeks against Cincinnati, because that's going to be, because right now Texas Tech is sitting at the top, and then it's BYU, Cincy, and Houston. And yeah, who knows? Okay, so that is college football, people. I thank you guys for hanging out with me. Let's check. Let me check something here real quick. Let's check the chat. I know I haven't looked at it in a while, guys. I apologize. All right. Oh, we're good. Okay. All right, we're good. Okay. No worries. All right, so we're going to do, let me make sure, how to make sure something. Okay, we'll end the stream there. Let's do, hold on. You know, one of these days I'm going to get a little smoother on how to... Oh, we're going to end the stream here. We do a hard out, so people on the shorts, see you guys later. But, okay. Yeah, that's my thoughts on week 12, guys. Couple big matchups, nothing to sleep on. I think, let's go look. Let's go look at the standings one more time. And there are 4 teams. Five. But at one point, because no, wait, hold on. Because at one point, because you think about the Dukes, would someone from the American Conference be favored at 2 losses to go over them? I don't know. I'm just trying to look at, because I'm like, okay, there's 4 left that could still get to the playoff, but then it's like, okay, maybe 5, because what if Memphis wins? I don't know. But yes. I'd say there's three. SMU. No. I'm so stupid. Miami can get to the playoff at 2 losses. Yes. If Miami wins the ACC, they're going. So 1, 2. Maybe 3. 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9, 10 or 11, just depending. 12, 13, 14, soft 15. No. Because then I'd go to the Dukes. So Dukes would be 16. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Commodores aren't going. Maybe Commodores could be 23. So there's potentially still 23 teams that could fight for a chance to get into the 12-team playoff. If you ask me, who from the American? Probably Tulane. Well, probably Tulane or South Florida. So we got Tulane or South Florida. I think Georgia Tech. I think Georgia Tech and Miami can go. I know I sound so crazy when I say that, but if Miami wins out and they don't go to the ACC championship, and it ends up being Virginia or Pittsburgh that plays Georgia Tech, and Georgia Tech wins the ACC championship, that just leaves the door wide open for. We didn't lose like SMU last year. So watch out for Miami. So yeah, I think South Florida, Georgia Tech, Miami, Texas Tech, and BYU, Indiana, Ohio State, Oregon, maybe Michigan. I don't know, maybe Michigan. But let's just leave it at Ohio State, Indiana, or Oregon. Notre Dame, Texas A&M, Bama, Georgia, Ole Miss, or Texas. Georgia, Ole Miss, or Texas is that 12th seed. Now, from there, where they're rearranged and slotted, no clue. But those would be my 12 teams that I would predict getting into the dance. But again, there's going to be some movement here, because what if I'm unaware, because Tulane beat Memphis. They have FIU, Temple, and Charlotte. Okay, what about the Bulls? Who do the Bulls got? Let's go through Army, because Army plays Navy, and then Navy plays the Bulls tomorrow. Yep. So yeah, Navy has Notre Dame, South Florida, Memphis, and Army. All the makings of, you want to go to the American, this is how you get to the American. So this is also how you get to the college playoff as well. But South Florida, Navy, UAB, and Rice. They have their no, they don't have their head-to-head against Memphis. And South Florida has not played Tulane yet this season. Interesting. Okay. We'll just see. Brown's been pretty good too. He's had 19 touchdowns this season. I only know this. Let me not lie to you. This is the only reason why I know, because the stats are saying right there. I could sound so proper and been like, "Oh yeah, let me tell you." Blah blah blah. But yeah, that's it, people. We'll end the stream there. I thank you guys for hanging out with me. Hope you guys have. Let me see what time. Yeah. I can still stream some games. We're gonna hop over and we're gonna do a game stream now. So I hope you guys had a good stream. Let's double check because it was halftime. It was halftime of the Oregon game. Well, it's 28-6, but let's just see where the ball is. Let's see where people are. Because we were watching that game, and I did start the stream a little bit before halftime. All right, they're gonna take a timeout break, but okay, 28-6. Okay, people, we'll end the stream there though. Once again, like I said, I thank you guys for hanging out. I thank you guys for being here. That's my thoughts on how this week for college football could potentially go. Be sure to let me know in the comments who you think could win and some of your bigger games. Be sure to let me know your picks. Leave a like, leave a sub. It goes a long way, but I thank you guys for being here. I'll see you guys in the next stream.